Welcome back to Wrestling Talk. I am Alexis Carrillo, and normally, it's Friday. It's the end of the week. We're about to hit up SmackDown later on tonight. A little bit of Rampage as well with the debut of Hook. It is, after all, National Hook Day, so we have that to look forward to. But just a few hours ago, something hit the wrestling news websites and the internet wrestling community really, really hard. Something that really hurt a lot of wrestling fans, most wrestling fans. And that was the fact that, and it's not even the fact that Jeff Hardy was released by WWE, it's just the fact that once again, Jeff Hardy, it appears, we haven't gotten any full confirmation on this is just pure speculation, but once again it appears that Jeff Hardy has succumbed to one of the worst illnesses to ever hit mankind, which is addiction to any kind of drug or painkillers or alcohol or however you want to call them. And I'm not going to get into that because his history with that has been widely documented. It's widely known amongst all wrestling fans. The trouble that Jeff Hardy has had, I believe, for over 2 decades at this point. It's just surprising because just a few weeks ago, and I understand that that interview was filmed weeks ago or possibly months in advance, the Broken Skull sessions that he just had with Stone Cold Steve Austin on the Peacock Network for WWE, where he mentioned where Stone Cold straight up asked him about his issues with substance abuse, and Jeff Hardy got into it. He mentioned that he had been fighting it for a while, that he had been clean for quite some time right now. So again, I'm just stating what he said, and I'm just speculating on the fact that nothing's been confirmed. There's no confirmation of substance abuse on the part of Jeff Hardy. It's just what everyone assumes. So that's surprising in its own right. And then we've been seeing Jeff Hardy on SmackDown. He's been having quite some entertaining segments. He's been getting a great reception from the crowd. And if you ask me, prior to all this, I would have pretty much penciled in Jeff Hardy to challenge Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship sometime between now and WrestleMania. I would have penciled that in, no doubt. As a matter of fact, I was looking forward to it. I don't think Jeff Hardy has another world title run in his career. I don't think he would have been able to beat Roman Reigns for the title, or they would have booked that. But in the land of SmackDown, there are very few real contenders for the main event. And Jeff Hardy was one of them. And now, because Jeff Hardy has been released because of his alleged substance abuse, there's an empty spot on SmackDown. Now, we all know that at day one, Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar for the Universal Championship once again. But after that, who's going to challenge Reigns for the title? So again, it is surprising. First of all, I just want to say I've been a Jeff Hardy fan ever since I first caught him on my screen, which was late 2008, early 2009 on SmackDown. I know that may come as a shock because he's been a part of the WWE for quite a while, but in 2005 I started watching SmackDown. He wasn't a part of that roster. He was on over with TNA Wrestling, and he went to Monday Night Raw. I didn't have cable, so I did not see Jeff Hardy until late 2008, and I became a fan instantly. I can't even snap. Instantly. So, yeah. I popped for Jeff Hardy when they brought his traditional main event theme song No More Words, I believe it's called. I popped for that. So, yeah. It sucks. And it's unfortunate because, again, WWE programming, at the end of the day, this is a wrestling talk show, so I have to put emphasis on the fact of who's going to challenge for the Universal title and Jeff Hardy's the main contender, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I have to put an emphasis on that. But at the end of the day, I've said this multiple times on this show. This show is about wrestling. It's about entertainment. Ultimately, it does not matter. It's just a show. So basically what I'm trying to say is, Jeff Hardy, we care about you. The entire IWC cares about you. We wish you a speedy recovery, and hopefully you have the friends and family and all the people around you to support you to get over this illness that you have once again succumbed to. And again, this is just a show, and the show must go on. We're going to have SmackDown on later on tonight. With Jeff Hardy, just know that when you do come back, wherever you come back, there will always be fans that will support you no matter what. That's been proven in the past, and it will continue to be proven in the months and years to come. As far as contract goes, it is being reported that Jeff Hardy becomes a free agent somewhere around March of next year. He does have a 90-day no-compete clause from WWE, so we can't expect him to appear on any kind of show until that time. And with the circumstances regarding his release from WWE, I seriously doubt that any major company in the US, and I'm talking about you, AEW, would venture into actually signing Jeff Hardy before he gets himself clean, again, allegedly, and is able to support his responsibilities. So, yeah, Jeff Hardy, take care, spend time with your family, get healthy. Us wrestling fans, we will always be here. We are part of your support system, and we love you. So with that said, now it's time to go into more wrestling related stuff, more of the actual show. And I'm sorry if you can tell if I'm shivering. I'm sorry, that's why I'm wearing this hoodie. And, you know, if I was honest with you, I'd be wearing that blanket, that comforter on my bed. I'd be wearing it right now because it is very cold. It is 54 degrees Fahrenheit right now where I live, which is somewhere near Corona, California. So yes, it is very cold, which is why I can't bring up too much energy to this. But again, we gotta get into wrestling talk, because this is what we are here for. And this past Monday night, we had one of the main events that have been talked about for quite some time, quite possibly one of the most anticipated main events of Monday Night Raw for the entire year of 2021, which is about to end. Big Time Becky Lynch defended her Raw Women's Championship against the challenger, the fan favorite, the IWC darling, everyone loves, Liv Morgan. And they had a good back and forth match. And once again, Becky Lynch retained by pinning the champion while holding the ring ropes, something that the referee wasn't able to see. Pretty simple, standard 101 heel booking. And I see a lot of chatter on the IWC. I see a lot of chatter on Twitter and on YouTube and social media itself with the fact that they have just ruined Liv Morgan, that they have buried her, that they have not given her her due, that they should have made her Raw Women's Champion this past Monday. They should have been for the Raw Women's Championship. And what I ask is, do you have any idea on how to make stars in professional wrestling? No? It's fair enough. Because at the end of the day, WWE has made stars out of pretty much everyone who is actually a star in professional wrestling today. And sure, they could have given Liv Morgan the title on Monday Night Raw, but would it have meant something to Liv Morgan, something to the fans? Would it have been just some fleeting desire from the IWC to feel validated by the WWE? When at the end of the day, WWE is in a business of creating stars, maintaining stars, and maintaining their business. And you gotta follow the stories that WWE are telling. I get the fact that fans want fan favorites and their IWC darlings to be champions. I get that. I understand that. I would support that too. But at the end of the day, WWE is telling the story of Becky Lynch has been champion every single day that she's been in WWE since the main event of WrestleMania 35. Since she main evented WrestleMania and became Becky Two Belts. That's the story WWE has been telling ever since her return at SummerSlam. So if you thought for just 1 second that they were going to throw that entire story away for one fleeting moment in the main event of, a throwaway Monday Night Raw episode, then you, my friend, my fellow fans, my fellow wrestling fans, are just simply out of your mind. It would be like you have Roman Reigns, who is the current head of the table, who's almost about to be a 500-day title reign for the Universal Champion. You have him drop the title to Cesaro on a random episode of SmackDown. That would be the equivalent. Would it create a star out of Cesaro? No. Would it create a star out of Liv Morgan? No. But what WWE has done with what they did on Monday Night Raw, first of all, Becky Lynch screwed Liv Morgan out of the championship. That's clear in the fact of how she won. They spoon-fed that to you, that story to you, the fan. And obviously you're pissed, you're mad. That's the reaction they were going for. That's the reaction they wanted from you. They want you to be so pissed off by the fact that Becky Lynch retained in that manner, that Liv Morgan did not get her due on Monday Night Raw, that you continue to support Liv Morgan to the point that one day, hopefully very soon, hopefully at next year's WrestleMania, Liv Morgan can actually beat Becky Lynch and become Raw Women's Champion on the grandest stage of them all. And then you build a big star. Then you make a great moment, a memorable moment, which is what WWE shoots for. That is their business. That's best for business for them. But again, Bryan Danielson has said it best in the past, and that is, fans are fickle. They want the immediate reaction, they want the immediate satisfaction, and if they don't get it, they get pissed off. That's natural. That's human emotion. That's human kicking in. But again, at the end of the day, WWE is protecting their investment in Becky Lynch, and they're also making sure that fans are not just supporting Liv Morgan because they're tired of Becky Lynch. They're supporting Liv Morgan because they really like Liv Morgan and they want Liv Morgan to be a big star. They're making sure that they're testing you as a fan. At least that's from my point of view. Now, I may be wrong. I've been wrong in the past. But there's nothing wrong with my theory. If you don't agree with my theory or you've had a different theory, go ahead and leave it on the comment section below. And we'll see what goes down next week on Monday Night Raw. Let's see what goes down in this entire story. with Becky Lynch, with Liv Morgan, with the Raw Women's Championship. All I gotta say is the women on WWE have been one of the most entertainment aspects of WWE programming for the past 6 years. So, I just want to put that out there. Let's wait and see what happens with WWE. Now let's talk about some All Elite Wrestling. Let's talk about AEW, and let's talk about the most controversial figure currently on their programming. And it's not Kenny Omega, it's not Bryan Danielson or CM Punk or MJF, it's none of them. I'm talking about one of the founders, one of the EVPs, and I can already sense that the IWC is burning with rage because somehow, some way, for some reason, the IWC just dislikes, not to say hate, dislikes Cody Rhodes. For some reason, the IWC just can't stand the guy. They don't give him his due, they don't give him his respect, and lately, on Dynamites, on Rampage, on AEW pay-per-views, Cody Rhodes has been coming out to their programming, to the show, and he's been getting a lot of mixed reactions, mostly boos from the fans, which is completely misunderstandable, if that even is a word, or if I'm even using that in the correct manner, because ever since AEW made their debut back in early 2019, Cody Rhodes has been a babyface, and he has stated in the past that he will not turn heel anytime soon. As a matter of fact, he said it's been recorded, it's been documented, that Cody Rhodes has informed his fans, the AEW faithful, that he will never turn heel. He'll never be a bad guy on that show. So, right there, right then, that shows us that Cody Rhodes is aiming for a certain type of reaction. And the fans, they don't want it. They don't want Cody Rhodes to be one of the main guys in AEW. Now again, we go back to the fact that I just mentioned a few minutes ago. Fans, wrestling fans, and mostly fans and human beings in general are fickle. We change our opinions like that. Like that. Depending on circumstances, depending on how we feel that day, depending on how we feel in that very hour. We might be happy 1 hour, then 10 minutes later, we're pissed off for some very different reason. And what Cody Rhodes did last week, what he has been doing for AEW and for wrestling fans in general, you gotta give the guy mad respect. You gotta give the guy his due. He put himself through a table on live TV, on a cable show, which again, yes, it's a very memorable moment, but most of these episodes are throwaway, and over a certain amount of time, they get out of here. They don't stay in your mind. But Cody Rhodes put his body through a flaming table to entertain you, the fans, regardless of reaction. Now the fans popped for the flaming table, because that's what they're supposed to do. They love that. But at the end of the day, Cody Rhodes still got the same reaction. He beat Andrade, and Cody Rhodes got a mixed reaction, not to say boos. Why? Because fans think he buried Andrade, which is stupid, which is completely blown out of proportion. Stupid. Because they created a memorable moment on Dynamite that fans will remember. Cody Rhodes and Andrade. Remember that flaming table spot? I do. That was awesome. But now Cody Rhodes is getting, not to say it, but a John Cena effect kind of thing. He can't challenge for the Impact World Championship. He can't challenge for the AEW World Championship because he lost to MJF about a year, 2 years ago. And that stipulation required him to not challenge for the AEW World Championship. Now, we as wrestling fans know that they can change that any time they want to, and most likely they will. But what if they don't? What if Cody Rhodes actually lives up to that stipulation? What if Cody Rhodes actually lives up to the fact that he will never turn heel? Well, guess what? Wrestling fans are just going to be pissed off even more at him because he's stuck by his word. He hasn't given the fans what he wants. And eventually, fans like their characters. They like their superstars to flip-flop. Ooh, I want to see him as a heel. Ooh, I want to see him as a babyface. They get bored with the same old stuff. They get bored time and time again. And that's the reaction Cody Rhodes is getting. He's a babyface. He's been a babyface for 3 years. We want to see something different from Cody Rhodes. And Cody Rhodes is just not giving that to them, which pisses them off, which gives Cody Rhodes the John Cena effect with the crowd. If you ask me, Cody Rhodes is gonna stick by what he says. He's not gonna challenge for the AEW World Championship. He's not gonna turn heel. For all we know, he might be retiring very, very soon and just heading into the office. For all we know, that could happen. Or what most wrestling fans expect, what most wrestling fans want, Cody Rhodes to turn heel. Cody Rhodes to, quote-unquote, shoot and book himself in that AEW World Championship match because he's a heel and because every single wrestling fan out there knows that he's an EVP of the company and can do that. Because he can. Because he's an EVP. He can take away that stipulation where he lost and give the fans a big F you, which is what currently the fans want because they want Cody Rhodes to be a heel. And then the fans are happy for what, 6 months, and then they turn on him again because they realize, oh, he's an EVP, he controls the strings backstage, so we don't want that anymore. And again, wrestling fans are very fickle. They change their minds at a drop of a dime. That's why I don't trust most wrestling fans' opinions, because at the end of the day, they don't look at the long term, they look at the short term. We'll see what happens. But at the end of the day, I think Cody Rhodes is going to stick by his word. He's not going to challenge for the world title. He's not going to turn heel. And he will retire very, very soon. And because of that, we should respect him a lot more. Now, if you pay a ticket to an AEW show, you have the right to cheer or boo whoever you want. However you want to do it. As long as it's just cheering and booing. Don't go past that. But, we'll see. Anyway, what do you think about Cody Rhodes? Do you think he's going to live up to his word? Do you like the reaction he's been getting? Do you agree with the fact that that Cody Rhodes has been getting a John Cena type effect reaction from the crowd? Or do you disagree? Leave your thoughts and comments on the comments section below. And we're not done. Because I just talked about the most controversial figure on AEW TV. Now, I want to talk about the most controversial figure of AEW, period. And that is, he is the owner of the company, I believe the president of AEW, Tony Khan. Now, the reaction that Tony Khan gets on social media from their fans, from wrestling fans in general, it's not surprising at all. The fact that Tony Khan is pretty much universally beloved by all fans on social media. It's not second nature to me. It's not surprising to me because Tony Khan has given you, the wrestling fan, me, the wrestling fan, the whole wrestling community, an alternative, a real alternative to WWE, a big time company that gives us the grandiose events, the larger than life television production feel, and the money and the sentiment and the fan base to back it all up. That's what Tony Khan has given us as wrestling fans with AEW. Now, he's done that with help from Kenny Omega, from Chris Jericho, from Cody Rhodes, from the Young Bucks, from all those EVPs or big stars that have joined the company in the past few months, in the past few years. He's done that fine. Putting that aside, Tony Khan is the equivalent today of what Vince McMahon was back in the 90s, back in the Attitude Era. Now, let's hold comparisons. Let's judge him on a scale, each to their own way. All right. There's no way wrestling at this point right now is as popular as it was as the Attitude Era. So I'm not judging this on that. I'm not. I'd be crazy to do that because the numbers don't lie, and I'm gonna get into the numbers in a few more seconds, in a few more minutes. But Tony Khan represents what fans want. He's a wrestling fan, which Vince McMahon is as well, but he's younger. He's more hip in the eyes of the wrestling fans. He actually has a pulse, or I'm blanking on the statement, but he actually gets what wrestling fans want these days from their programming, from their show, from the stories. That's what wrestling fans look at when they see Tony Khan, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. And wrestling, much like life, is cyclical. So again, this will keep happening. To many fans, Vince McMahon is what the former WCW presidents that didn't know about wrestling were to today's professional wrestling, and Tony Khan is Vince McMahon in that era as well. He's trying to revolutionize the business. Nothing wrong with that. But again, we've got to take a look at the fact that in 2019, Tony Khan was this figure who just put in the money, this backer, this founder, the man that helped the EVPs create AEW and give the wrestling fans something of an alternative. He was that. And now, Tony Khan has become this prominent figure, maybe not on TV as much, but on the IWC, in wrestling news websites. He's going out to more interviews. He's saying a lot of things that rub people the wrong way. Specifically, and this is just my personal opinion, he rubs me the wrong way on what he says. Because for the most part, his comments, his answers are, give me the credit. I'm the owner of this company. I'm giving you what you want. Love me, love me, love me. And it's fine. It's fine. He can do that. It's not entirely false what he's saying. It's just, he's taking a lot of prominence and a lot of attention out of his product, which still needs to be built up a lot more, and giving it to himself. Not only that, he talks about numbers. He talks about the 18 to 49 demographic and how that's the most important number for TV viewership, blah, 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 blah. Fine. You want to, much like most human beings, you want to spin things in your own way, in your own favor. You want to spin things, that's fine. You want to take over the conversation and say that, we beat WWE, we beat SmackDown in the 18 to 49 demographic. Hey, but don't look over here Rampage viewership has been declining. Dynamite viewership has been declining. Overall viewership has been declining. Don't look over there. Just take a look at the 18 to 49 demographic, where we are beating WWE because we are a much edgier product, and therefore it makes sense. It makes more logical sense that we are attracting most of those viewership numbers than WWE. But at the end of the day, we're not making more money than the WWE. We're not making more advertisement revenue. We're not doing more live events than WWE. We are not bringing in more viewership than WWE. As a matter of fact, we could be on the verge of losing Rampage because that number keeps going down. I mean, last time I checked, Rampage barely hit 400, 450, 500K in terms of viewership, which is laughable, which is embarrassing, which is hypocritical in the sense that not too long ago, Impact Wrestling did those numbers, or slightly higher numbers than that, after they left Spike TV, and fans belittled them. They made fun of Impact Wrestling because of those numbers. But hey, we're talking about AEW, right? They're giving us what we want. They are pandering to us, the fickle fans, and therefore we pay no attention to that number, the big number, the number that actually matters, the number that personally I care about. Why? Because we hold them to a different standard. Oh, AEW has money, and they're, putting on a much more edgier product. Sorry, why can't I do that? They're putting on a much more edgier product than WWE, and therefore we should support them in every single way. And Tony Khan takes advantage of that. That's what I don't like. Tony Khan takes advantage of that fact. I'm giving you what you want. I'm putting in the money. Don't look at the numbers. Just follow me blindly, because I've been able to do this for you, and that just pisses me off. It really does. Not only that, Tony Khan has gone on interviews and spend those numbers on his behalf. And he's talked about the fact that, we are creating competition for WWE, and they are going up against us for no reason, and they're hurting our product for no reason. But at the end of the day, Tony Khan and the rest of the AEW community and the AEW company as a whole, they do not have the balls to go head-to-head with WWE. They don't have the balls to move Dynamite away from Wednesday nights and put it head-to-head with Monday Night Raw, and actually go head-to-head, fight that battle, and actually prove that they have something different than the WWE. They don't have the balls to move Rampage just slightly up and put that 1 hour of television against 1 direct hour of SmackDown. No. When Dynamite started, which was the most smart move, because they need to grow a fan base, and they moved it to Wednesday nights, where there was no competition at all. Good. When they hit Rampage, they did a very smart thing. SmackDown's 8 to 10. Fantastic. Let's put Rampage at 10 p.m. so we have so SmackDown viewership can lead into Rampage, and hey, fans can be like, hey, you don't like SmackDown, or you haven't got enough of your wrestling for the night? Turn on TNT, turn on TBS, watch Rampage. There you go. All I'm saying is, Tony Khan, if you want to talk about numbers, if you want to talk about 18 to 49 demographic, if you want to talk about how AEW is competing with WWE and how they're putting them in trouble, you want to talk all that shit, fine. Go head to head. Move Dynamite to Monday nights. Move Rampage head to head against SmackDown. Do those moves, and then we will analyze if AEW is truly what you say it has been. Because at the end of the day, you just sound like a con man who is spitting the numbers and the details in your favor because you are delusional in the fact that AEW has been any type of competition to WWE. And the fact of the matter is, they're not. They're not competition. They're an alternative. And most wrestling fans that are fed up with WWE follow you blindly. But if you ask any casual fan, which there are very few, and if you ask any wrestling fan out there, more often than not, they are going to choose WWE over AEW. Those are just my thoughts on Tony Khan and this entire situation. If you have different thoughts, go ahead and leave them in the comments section below. And I'm pretty sure you do have differing thoughts from what I had to say. But again, it's just my opinion. This is a wrestling talk show, and that's just my take on this entire situation. And because it's Friday night, and I want to talk about the final battle pay-per-view, the end of an era for a wrestling company, Ring of Honor Wrestling, that is going on hiatus, hopefully returning next year, not in the same vein as it has been for almost 20 years at this point. But I just want to give Ring of Honor their due. They are having their final battle show tomorrow night on pay-per-view. They have a stacked card, a pretty interesting card, which I will go over right now. All I gotta say is, Ring of Honor, thanks for the memories, for the wrestling matches, for everything that you have given us for the past 20 years. And if this is truly the end, if this is truly the final battle for Ring of Honor, then let it be a great show, and let every single wrestling fan out there buy the upcoming pay-per-view and enjoy that one final show. Now, I might not be able to watch the show live tomorrow night. I do have my day job, although, I just call it a day job, but it just depends on the schedule. I'm working nights tomorrow. But I will most likely, I'm thinking about buying the pay-per-view, the replay, and just checking out this final Ring of Honor show, which has Dragon Lee versus Ray Horus. It has Kenny King versus Shane Taylor. It has Josh the Goods Woods defending his Ring of Honor Pure Championship in a Pure Rules match. And it has the main event. Like I said, I don't follow Ring of Honor Wrestling, so I don't have much to say about this entire conversation, about this entire pay-per-view. But it does have the Ring of Honor World Championship being defended. And I believe for the vacant world title, because Bandito just had a positive COVID test. Again, Bandito, get well, get healthy. Your health is more important than any wrestling show out there. I said that at the beginning of the show. I'll say it at the end of the show, and I'll continue to say that every single time. So I think it's going to be Jonathan Gresham against an opponent to be determined for the Ring of Honor World Championship. All I got to say is, if you're a wrestling fan, you cannot go wrong with a night with Ring of Honor professional wrestling. It might not have been my cup of tea. It might not have been what most wrestling fans were into. And that may be the reason why Ring of Honor Wrestling is taking hiatus. But at the end of the day, just let's give Ring of Honor their due. Let's pay our respects to Ring of Honor Wrestling as it stands right now. And all I gotta say is, I'm looking forward to Ring of Honor Final Battle 2021. And let it be a great show for all the men and women on screen and behind the scenes for Ring of Honor Wrestling. So with that said, that's been it for today's show of Wrestling Talk. I have been Alexis Carrillo. Go ahead and enjoy your Friday night, the rest of the weekend. We got SmackDown, we got Rampage later tonight, we got Final Battle tomorrow night. We got that to look forward to, and I'll catch you next time. Alright? Bye-bye.